Theo, what were your goals as far as training went this offseason, and do you feel like you accomplished what you set out to?
Yeah, I think it really starts with recovering from the season, making sure my body's feeling good going into this training process. That was a big goal for me. I think I did a really good job working with the trainers I had, so I think that started off great. And then for me, it's just maximizing my potential. Pushing myself every single day, trying to get the most out of myself. And I think I did a really great job with that. I think working with the people at Proactive in California, they did a great job preparing me for this event. So I think I've set myself up for success. Yeah, I think it was huge for me. Just being around, great competitors across the country, guys. I'm going to be playing at the next level. I think it was really cool just to be able to, be myself, get a system that isn't overly complex and is just made to let the athletes showcase their abilities. And I think I was able to do that down there.
Not only that, you have a bunch of teammates down there with you. What does that say about Penn State's program?
Yeah, I think Penn State year in year out is producing NFL talent, not just NFL talent, but guys that thrive at the next level. So it just shows what Coach Franklin's doing at Penn State and what it means to be a Penn State football player. Yeah, I think at Penn State, I really appreciated the opportunity I had because I was able to showcase all that a tight end can do. I was lined up in the backfield as a fullback, flexed out wide in the slot. There's times I was isolated one-on-one out wide. So you're able to showcase everything that a tight end can do. So that was a unique experience for me because I'm able to show NFL teams that I'm able to line up anywhere on the field that you need me to. I have not, no.
What does it mean for you, Penn State, has NFL talent, especially at the tight end position, how to be next up at that position of all the NFL Penn State tight ends?
Yeah, I think that was a huge reason why I chose Penn State as a young high school kid. Just looking at the lineage of tight ends that have came out of Penn State, it excited me to continue that tradition, but also to leave my own mark on it moving forward in the future. I think I've done that, and I'm looking forward to the kids that are coming out after me. We've got a lot of really young, good talent, so I think that tradition is going to continue on for a long time. Yeah, I was just talking with him recently. He wished me luck on the week. One thing he's always told me is that Penn State's going to prepare you really well, not only for this pre-draft process, but for the next level, just with how Coach Franklin carries his program. So he's like, just be you and trust your training. Just fall back on your training. That's tough. I'd say probably my touchdown against Michigan State. I ran a route that requires you to be able to dissect coverages, not only pre-snap but post-snap, and make a high-level decision full speed throughout the play. So I think, that not only showcases my abilities mentally but physically as well to be able to make a contested catch.
Speaking of Pat Farley, what would it be like to play with him with the Steelers, and have you met with the Steelers at all during the pre-draft process?
Yeah, I met with the Steelers informally this week. Pat was my guy. He was someone that when I came in as a young kid, I kind of, looked to him for guidance and to see how to go about my business because at the time he was a bona fide draft pick. So I have a great relationship with him. It'd be cool at some point down the road to, be on the same team again. But at the end of the day, wherever I end up, I'm gonna do my very best. Yeah, I think the big thing for me that sets me apart from the rest of the guys in this class is I feel like I have unique size and movability for my size. I think I can utilize my size and my speed very uniquely. So I think that sets me apart from other tight ends. Yeah, I mean, this is beyond my wildest dreams what I'm doing here. Coming from Canada, it's super rare for a Canadian kid to be here regardless of struggles and adversities that I went through. It means a lot for me to be here for not only my family but for Canadian kids that never really thought something like this was possible. So I take tremendous pride not only for representing my family being here but representing the country of Canada. Yeah, no, I would not be here. I would not be the man that's standing here in front of y'all today. I am who I am because of my mom and her work ethic and her showing me that you can accomplish anything if you never give up. And with undeniable faith and work ethic, you can accomplish anything. So I'm the man I am today because of my mom. Can you repeat that? Yeah, I mean, it's an impossible situation. If 100 people went through that situation that my mom was in, raising 6 kids on your own, homeless, without food or without money to pay for stuff, having to go to food banks and church to get clothes for your kids. Like, people wouldn't be where my mom is now, the head partner of her law firm, a thriving law firm in Windsor, Ontario, being very successful with 6 kids that are all within their own right doing great things. My brother has his own business. Another one of my older brothers is traveling abroad and is getting his law degree in Germany. I'm here sitting in front of you guys. I got younger brothers that are coming up. So it was really tough. It was not always easy. I wasn't always as smiley and happy as I am now, but I'm very fortunate to be standing here today. And I attribute that to my God and my mother for making that possible for me. Favorite route? I mean, I think for me, my favorite route is, say, maybe a nod route. It really gets an opportunity for you to be able to sell. You get to be unique and be creative with your route and how you can win against man coverage.
So Penn State talks a lot about iron sharpens iron. How do you think going up against Chop and Lisa?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially this past season, going against those guys made me a better football player, a better blocker. I've been telling everybody throughout this process, Chop Robinson's the hardest, like the best DN I've had to go up against in my college career. I've played a lot of really great DNs in the Big Ten. Chop's one of the best. Adisa is one of the best. So playing against those guys every day made me a better football player.
Theo, in the Senior Bowl, just being coached by Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator, what were you impressed with?
Yeah, so going into it, not really sure what to expect going into, an all-star game, how much coaching you're really going to receive. But I was super impressed with how he's able to run a team in such a short period of time. And he just dropped so much gold for all of us guys that are going into the next level, not really sure what to expect and how to go about the process. Super fortunate and appreciative for the opportunity to be under him, and I have a ton of respect for him after that week.
Have you met with him yet?
I have not, no.
And what does it mean to you if you were to be drafted to catch passes like that?
Yeah, I mean, whoever drafts me, I'm going to be super fortunate and appreciative to have that opportunity, and if it's the Jets, it'll be the same way. I did, yeah. We came in the same class. He transferred in, and he transferred in my freshman year. Yeah, I think seeing his development's been really, really cool. A guy that came from junior college to finding his way to school like Penn State to now being a starting safety in NFL. It's really cool. I got a ton of respect for him. He's a good dude, and he deserves great things. No, ma'am, no. Yeah, I chose Penn State, kind of like I had mentioned earlier. Just the long lineage of tight ends that have came out of there. It excited me to be able to continue that lineage, but also leave my own mark on it. Penn State at the time had a loaded tight end room. We had Pat Freiermuth, Zach Kuntz, who was number 2 in his class coming out, Brenton Strange, who went in the second round last year, myself, and then Tyler Warren, who's going to be a top tight end drafted next year. So I knew I was going to have to compete, and I was going to have to fight against guys that are really good football players. And I think in doing that, iron sharpens iron, as what was said before. Competing against those tight ends made me a better player, and that's a big reason why I chose to go to Penn State.
Penn State's strength and conditioning program gets a lot of play. What is it? Because obviously we see the on-field product, we don't see as much behind the scenes stuff. What is it about that program that makes it as good as it is? And how has that program, and Coach Johnson, made you a better football player?
Yeah, you can't hide in Penn State's program. They're going to get everything out of you, or you're going to bend. Our workouts are, for lack of a better word, barbaric, very difficult and challenging, not only physically but mentally. But it brings everything out of you. And seeing what I was as a young freshman kid coming out to where I am now, a lot of that is because of the hard, difficult workouts I had to do and the things that I had to overcome to be able to improve and to be able to be successful in that program. Informally. No. Yes, sir, yeah. I had a formal interview with them. Yes, sir, yeah. Yeah, someone that I have a ton of respect for a long time. I really respect George Kittle's game. I think he's a true tight end. You know, we're in a time now where there's the modern day tight end, there's the true tight end, which is kind of a little bit more rare now. A guy that can do all that you want as a tight end. He can be in pass protection. He can be as dominant in the run game as he can in the pass game. So I have a ton of respect for him. I watch his game a lot, and that's something that I feel like I can become. I can be a guy that I have the frame and potential to be a guy that can be an all-down tight end that can do everything that you need. Yes, ma'am. I do. Yes.
Theo, can you talk about your relationship with Brenton Strange, seeing him go in the second round last year?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Brenton Strange is my guy. I still talk to him now very frequently. Brenton, myself, and Tyler Warren had a really great relationship at Penn State. We pushed each other a lot. It was a lot of competition. You know, in the game plans, there's some plays that only one tight end is going to get the ball. So we're competing every day in practice for who's going to get that opportunity in the game. But it was never any selfishness. There's never any pouting or not looking out for each other. And it was a really cool experience because you have someone that you're not only so close with, but you're rooting for at the same time and you're competing with them. So I was super happy for Brenton last year when he got drafted in the second round. I think, for whatever reason, people like to doubt Penn State tight ends until it comes to this pre-draft process. But at the end of the day, real football players know that Penn State produces some of the best tight ends.
Do you think that's because there's so many of you guys who share the rock? Do you think maybe the stats aren't there and that's what people don't realize?
Yeah, I think, there's probably a number of reasons. I think that's definitely a contributing factor is that, it's a team game, and we live in a time now where people, flock towards the guys that have the big numbers and the flashy stats. For Penn State tight ends aren't very sexy to a lot of people. We don't have the big numbers and the big stats, but we do the gritty stuff, the stuff that's not pretty, the stuff that a lot of tight ends don't really want to do, and that's a lot of stuff that the NFL teams are looking for.
With that said, have you talked to the guys at all?
I've talked to them informally.
Give us a scouting report on Tyler Warren.
Yeah, Tyler Warren's a stud. The guy approaches the game with a gritty mindset. He's going to catch everything that comes his way. He's going to be able to wiggle his way open at the top of routes, but be dominant in the run game when needed. He's going to be a guy that's going to thrive this year in Coach K's offense. I'm super excited to see what he can do with one more year in college. And I think when he's standing up here next year, he's going to be one of the top tight ends in college football and potentially an All-American next year.
What's the best piece of advice you ever got
From James Franklin? Compete in everything you do. It's one of our core values, and everything you do, whether it's how you speak, how you prepare, how you do schoolwork, compete in every single thing you do. That's something that I think about every day in life, and I think it's helped me get to where I am today. Yeah, I've spoke with them informally. No, ma'am. You said at the Senior Bowl.
Who's the toughest guy you saw in practice every day?
Chop Robinson.
What about Chop? Stood out?
Yeah, Chop Robinson has elite pad level. He's able to play at such a low level, but be able to maintain his pad level throughout the block. He's explosive. He shoots out like a cannon. He's strong as an ox, and if you don't have great technique, he's going to expose you, and you're either going to be on your back or 5 yards in the backfield. So going against him every day, it made me really hone in on my technique and being consistent with my technique, or else in the team meeting the next day, I was going to be up on the screen. So, he's like I tell everybody, he's one of the best players I've ever had to block, and I got a ton of respect for him as a man.
How about in the game this year? Who's the toughest guy you saw in the game?
We got the DN from O State, 44. Yeah, he's a pretty good player. He's really good with his hands, can move well for his size. When we played him at home, I mean, he snapped, what was it, 2 years ago, and had 2 pick sixes. So unique player, special player. I think he's gonna be a good football player.
Theo, have you met with the Broncos?
I have met with him informally.
What do you think of that offense? How do you feel like you'd be a part of that team?
Yeah, I think that wherever I end up, I think that I'm going to be able to do well and make my own there. I think that I work with Coach Kilgore, QC for the Broncos. I had a really great experience with him at the Senior Bowl. So if I was given that opportunity, I'd be very fortunate. But wherever I end up, I think I'm going to make most of my opportunity.
What teams have you met with formally here so far?
I've met with the Eagles, Houston, Kansas City, 49ers, Las Vegas. There's maybe one more, but that's all I can think of right now.
Theo, you talked about doing the gritty stuff. Why do you take pride in it?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
You spoke earlier about doing the gritty stuff and stuff that's not as pretty in terms of receiving yards after catch. Why do you personally take pride in those?
Yeah, it's part of the game of football. It's part of what you're asked to do. And if you really love this game, you have to love all aspects of it. You can't just like catching the ball because when you're not catching the ball, you're going to be miserable. And there's a lot of times at Penn State I wasn't catching the ball. So you got to be able to take pride and enjoy some of the not so fun things sometimes. And when you can do that, it's a lot of fun playing football. So when we're in 4th and 1 and we got our big package out there, we all get a little excited when we're in the huddle because we get to impose our will on another man, and that's pretty fun for me.
Yeah, Theo, so I understand you coach youth football, so how does your coaching experience with that kind of help you appreciate what your coaches currently do and what they've done in the past?
Yeah, it's really cool to coach because you can see yourself in a lot of these young kids. You can put yourself in their shoes when you were there. You know how to relate to them. You know what they're looking for. I remember some of the coaches I had and looking up to them so much, and being that for some of those kids is really cool. I think, as an older brother, I always try and look out and provide and be a guiding hand for my younger brothers. That's how I was for some of the young tight ends this year as well. So it's something I take a lot of pride in, helping the next generation of football players.
Theo, coach lets you call one play. What do you call and why?
It depends on the situation, but I'm probably calling what we call 5 crunch. It's kind of the epitome of a gritty play for a tight end. It's a split flow zone cutoff play where you're running from one side of the ball to the other and you're contacting the end man on the line of scrimmage. That's a play that we ran a whole bunch at Penn State. You can see it all over the film. And that's a play that you have to have the right mindset going into it, or else you're going to be the nail and not the hammer.
Theo, you talked about the Penn State practices, terming them as barbaric. With you having to deal with time between Tyler Warren, Andrew Rapelia, obviously, and a whole host of talented tight ends in that room, what are some skills that you have that you feel translate best to the NFL level you didn't get to show like you wanted to in college?
Yeah, I think that for me it's just my ability to move all over the field. I think that at times I was only able to show a finite amount of things. I think I got to show a little bit more of that at the Senior Bowl with it being a little bit more open and not as restricted, and just kind of having a lot more freedom with my routes and what I'm able to do. So I think I showed that a little bit more at the Senior Bowl. I think I have a little bit more in my bag, and I think that's a little bit of a taste of the potential that I have as a route runner.
As far as the next year and the players that you think are going to be the next big contributors for Penn State who end up come the NFL level, who would you say out of that wide receiver group you think is going to emerge?
Yeah, I think that we just got to transfer Julian Fleming. I think he's got an opportunity to be a major contributor for us. Someone that I don't think a lot of people talk about is Liam Clifford, brother to Sean Clifford, who was a quarterback for us a few years ago. He's a guy that just goes about his business, tireless worker, has an unmatched work ethic, has kind of gone under the radar, but I think just based on Coach K's offense, he's really going to thrive in that, and he's going to be able to really help our team next year a lot. Yeah. That's it? All right, cool. Thank you, guys.